Howdy folks, Nathan Adlin here with another episode of Ask Nathan. You're watching TFL Now, and your questions are what I'm going to be reading right back to you with some answers, and let's just get right to it. The first one, I'm going to be looking a little off to the side because we have a board right here. So, one of the questions, which I don't have a name for unfortunately, is cars to learn how to drive a manual transmission. I highly recommend the Honda Fit. It is a really good car for shifting. The throws are just right. Very easy, soft clutch, easy car to learn engagement with. But you might find that a vehicle like the new Camaro with the V6 is another great vehicle to learn how to drive because it has a very different feel to it, and it's a notch, click, 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 click. It's not quite bolt action, but it gives you an idea of the different feel that you can get in a manual transmission. So I do recommend those two cars. All right, next question. You don't know how to drive. It's a statement, not a question. Thank you very much, Nick. I think you're from Serbia, if I'm not 100% wrong. And hey, you're absolutely right. That's why we have Paul, the professional driver. But you know what's cool? I get to drive all these awesome cars anyway because I'm a journalist. And here's the crazy part. The original Top Gear guys, you know, Clarkson, all those guys, they're journalists too. That's right, journalists. And that's what we do. We drive cars because we're regular guys driving cars and we're getting a feel for them. And frankly speaking, I love my job. All right, next question. How do you handle trolls? Now, these are just like right off. This one's from Jacob. Jacob, what we do is that, you know, we do keep an eye on what's being said. And if we have to, we'll block somebody if they're talking about something other than the vehicles that we're driving or something that's relating to it. Especially if they're starting to insult other people and, you know, we just cut them off, remove them, report them, whatever. It's just that simple. All right, next one. 2015 Ford Explorer, can it tow two jet skis? Yes, it can. The tow rating on that is over 5,000 pounds. Shouldn't have a problem at all towing two jet skis unless they're the really old ones and you add a couple sacks of cement. So here's something that we like to do in terms of keeping an eye on what you're towing, and that is if your vehicle is rated, let's say, at 5,000 pounds and you're towing 4,000 pounds, that's a lot. That's right up there, pretty close, because you have other things inside your vehicle and all of a sudden you're weighing everything down. So best practice, if you can, keep it at half the weight you're rated at. That way you'll drive fine, right? So keep that in mind. All right. Why no Jeeps on the Ice Gauntlet? Really, really good question. We don't have a Jeep product yet that is really equipped to tow. Now, we have towed on the Ike before. We did it with a diesel Jeep Grand Cherokee. However, in terms of it competing currently in the Ike Gauntlet, we don't have anything out there yet. Now, there will be a Jeep Wrangler pickup truck coming in the near future. Near could be in the next 2 years. And when it gets here, we will definitely put it on the Ike, we'll take it off road, we'll do everything with it, I promise. But for the regular Wrangler and the Wrangler Unlimited, they're not real tow vehicles per se, so we don't really feel like taking them up there and using very little weight in order to go up and down the hill. So in the future though, stay tuned for that. Okay, next one. A lot of questions this week. This is a funny one from an old friend of mine. It's a guy named Tyrone. He lives in Florida. I went to high school with him. And he read one of the articles I wrote years and years and years and years ago for vehix.com, which is gone. My article was based on the theory that cheaper cars should have really good stereos. And the reason why is that if you have a really cheap car, but it has a really good stereo system, you suddenly forget about the fact that you have a really cheap car. So it's a theory that's out there. I wrote about it a long time ago. For those of you who are wondering, if you do get an inexpensive vehicle nowadays, you're able to plug in your iPod and all that. Back in the day when I wrote it, you weren't able to do that. So things have changed. Okay. Best driving car this year. This is from Jose. Jose, it's a great question. Roman and I talked about it briefly, and we both agreed that it's a tie between the BMW M2 and the Mazda MX-5 Miata. They're very different vehicles, but they're both some of the best driving vehicles that we've sampled in a long time. Great cars. Paul loves them. That's the seal of approval. Yeah, so there you go. Okay, the next one. Oh, okay. Why can't we be your friends on Facebook and Twitter and everything? Absolutely. Totally get that. All of us have our own private little accounts, which are just for family and friends, and we like to keep that separate from what we're doing with work. But the good news is, We all have Twitter accounts for TFL Car, TFL Truck. I have my own. Andre has his own. And you also have separate pages for different things that we're doing as well on Facebook. So look us up on those. And the other ones, the reason we don't reach out and make friends with people we don't know is because, frankly, they're just for people we do know. Okay. And finally, what did you all do in high school? From Ben, 11 years old. Ben, I did not forget your question. Thank you very much for asking. Now, I can tell you this. You were asking, I think, about sports. Okay, real quickly. Now, I can't answer for everybody because I'm not 100% sure if Ian was actually doing fencing or pole vaulting. But I can tell you, I think Roman did tennis, may have done some soccer because he's European. And then Andre did cross-country skiing and riding yaks. And I did football, baseball, wrestling, and boxing, all through the various high schools I went to, and I went to several. Okay, thank you so much for all the stuff, guys. Tried to get through as many as I could. Remember, we're going to be reading this, and so leave your questions down below. Also, there's the Ask Nathan column, which comes up every Sunday, and we answer questions on that as well. Thank you so much. See you next time.
Hey guys, welcome to another TFL behind the scenes video, and since it's the beginning of September, we wanted to kind of fill you in on what's going on here in September. And the biggest thing we're doing is we're doing a mid-size truck mashup, basically taking all the mid-size trucks and doing a full-on review of them, and that's going to involve going off-road. And so this weekend, show them the Raptor, Andre. I was out scouting a potential off-road trip for the pickup truck comparison, and I went up and over Webster Pass. Now Webster